Hey guys, welcome back, and in this part we're going to go ahead and create this grill for Wally. Okay, and that's where we left off last time, I think. I'm feeling a little bit better, so hopefully my voice ain't going to be as funky. So the first thing we're going to do is going to be very simple. We're going to use some, basically just the cube, and we're going to add in our extra edge loops and so on, just to add in the grill stuff. Okay, so it's going to be fairly easy. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and turn these off, and if I just add this bit to the body like so, and I'm just going to go into my front view and just roughly block this out of these cubes. It's not going to be lining up perfectly, I just want it for like the alignment ratio, just very rough. And again, I'm just dragging out size as well, and this is a little bit too much, so I'm just going to drag this in to about there. And once I have this sorted, we're going to quickly go ahead and add in all the edge loops that we need, so this thing will keep its shape. So this should do. So we're going to go ahead and select our insert edge loop, and just very quickly go ahead and add these in here. So now this should hold its shape, and then we can go ahead and smooth it, and we'll go ahead and duplicate it around some to the right places. And I left some off here. That's moving now, see how it's looking. Good. Okay, so now that we have this, I'm going to go back into my front view and hit Ctrl D to duplicate, and I'm going to move it down to about here. Sorry. Now hit Shift D to carry on duplicating it. Okay. After we have that, we're going to hit Ctrl D, move this up and rotate 90 degrees. And we're going to go ahead and unsmooth it for now, just so you can move the vertices to the right place. So I'm going to move it there, and then we're going to grab these vertices and we're just going to drag it to about there. I'm going to do the same thing with this. Doesn't really matter, as long as it's inside, it will be fine. So that looks pretty good. If I just move it, you can see how it's going to look. And then I'm going to grab this again, duplicate, and just drag it to about there. Okay, so this will give us this initial grill look. But before that, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and duplicate this one more time with Ctrl D, drag it out here, and this will give us the edges that we need. And we're going to go ahead and unsmooth this, and this. And now if we turn back our body, once we group this together, modify center pivot, and turn back our body, and we're just going to go ahead and drag this out. And I've just messed this up. Oh no, I haven't. In here somewhere, there we go, there's this thing that we made, so that this is going to be sitting in the middle of that, like so. But if I just have a look at my model, basically these edges are going to have to come out a little bit. So once we line this up like so, I'm just going to go ahead and turn it off this body, and I'm going to go ahead and select these vertices on the top, and I'm going to drag them up to about there. Then I'm going to go ahead and select these vertices and drag them out to about here. Same thing with this piece, select the vertices here, drag them out to about there, and same with the bottom bits. Select them, drag them down. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing with this as well. So you're gonna go ahead and drag them in here. And I'm gonna do the same thing, these bits, and also this bit. And it doesn't really matter how far you drag it in because it's not gonna be seen. So I'm gonna drag them in there, and now I can go ahead and smooth these pieces as well. Okay, so this is what we'll end up with, which is looking pretty good. And if I just select my group, we can go ahead and make adjustments. If you want, you can go ahead and move these exactly to the end and so on, just so it looks a little bit nicer, but at the end of the day it doesn't really matter. Okay, so if you want to do it properly, if I want to say that way, then you can. So just going to go ahead and select this group and make sure I move it out enough so it looks okay. And that looks pretty good to me. So just make sure you leave this little edge around here because it will give it that extra detail. Okay, so it should look pretty good. I might move this piece a little bit forward, about there, just to give it that extra depth that we're looking for. So now we have the grill completed. The next thing we're going to do is, I said last part we might go ahead and move, do the hand, but I changed my mind. We're going to go ahead and block out the bottom part of the body. That should go pretty well, and then by that time we're not going to worry about this back piece for now. What we're going to do is we're going to create this bottom half and the door and the inside of Wally, and then after we have the bottom bit blocked out and that, we'll go ahead and add the details outside. But first we're going to do the hands. Okay, so at this stage what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and name everything because it's getting all cluttered up already. So I'm going to name this grill, and for these I'm just going to name this grill piece 1, and then I just copied that, and I'm just going to change these just so I know what these are, in case we get rid of the groups really quickly. Just copy and pasting and then changing the number. So grill piece 7, 8, and 9, and then we'll name this grill top body. And then we're going to go ahead and name these. So this is going to be body top front button, body top front button, back plate. This will be body front panel, and again I'm just coming up with these names from the top of my head. Body top right left button, body top triple button. So I'll just name this 2 and name this 3. And we can go ahead and attach all these things to a group, like so. I think that did not work. Come on, get in there. Okay, we'll just group them like so. Name this body top. And for this bit, I'm just going to drag everything out. If my mouse would work. Oh dear God. Right, I'm just going to leave that and sort it out later because my mouse is being funny. Right, so we've got all this grouped up, hopefully. And what we're also going to do is we're going to get rid of this, which is hiding in here somewhere. There we go. Body back up. There we are. I'm going to drag that out from there and just leave it where it is, we're also going to go ahead and select all this and add it to the body layer. Add selected objects. I'm going to delete this layer because I'm not sure what this is anymore. I probably just made it temporarily. Delete this layer. Ooh, I think I deleted the neck. Okay, we need the neck and the head. Okay, so now we're back and we are all organized again, somewhat. And we've got the top body completed. So what we're going to do in the next 10 minutes or so, we're going to go ahead and actually start blocking out this bottom piece for Wally, okay? So we're going to do that by using this backup piece again. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and duplicate this and just drag this up. And we're going to go ahead and steal these faces of this one, okay? So go ahead and select these bottom faces. It's just to save time. We could create it from scratch, but we are not going to. We might not need that face, but I'm just going to select it for now anyway. So after we duplicate these faces off, we can go ahead and get rid of the loops that we don't need. So go to mesh, extract, and I'm just going to hit W after I selected the piece that I need. Oh dear, right, I didn't do that correctly, so I'm just going to delete that, duplicate this again, drag this down. Not really sure why I did that, I shouldn't have done that. I'm just quickly going to select all these again. I'm actually going to leave that face out because I don't think we'll need that. Okay, and I'm just going to deselect this and that. Hit W, and if it's in the middle, then most likely we selected all the right faces. Okay, so go to edit mesh, and I'm just going to check this in. I don't know, for some reason it turned it off, that's why it came out all funny last time. So I'm going to go ahead and extract, and then I'm going to go ahead and select this piece, drag it down, select that piece, edit, delete all by type, history, and now I can just get rid of this. And I'm going to drag this panel out from that group if my mouse would do the job. There we go. And now we got this piece. So I'm just going to go ahead and go to modify center pivot, and then we can go ahead and move it roughly to the right place. Let me just check if I zero these out. That looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and drag this up, and it should line up exactly with this. Translate X0. So there we are, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and extrude this piece. So hit extrude, and then we're going to drag down the thickness, but before that just going to hit W instead and drag it down that way. Okay, so I'm going to go into my side view and see roughly where I got to drag this down to about there. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and adjust these vertices. First I'm going to scale. Oh, actually, it's fine. Just going to go ahead and drag this down. And I'm going to go ahead and grab these, select that, hit V on my keyboard and drag it down. And then I'll do the same with these, just to line them up. Okay, and now what we can do is we can just gonna select all these again and scale them just to make sure that they're straight, and then once they are, I'm gonna go ahead and drag them down where they're supposed to be, to about there. And now we're gonna go ahead and add in these extra edge loops that we need. We're gonna need one about here, and again, gonna scale and straighten this out. Insert edge loop tool again, and let's put that one about here, and again, I'm gonna straighten this out. And again, move it where it's supposed to be. Now I'm going to go ahead and select these vertices, drag them out about here, and I'm going to do the same thing with probably this vertex and just drag that in there a tiny bit. Okay, so now we've got the main block. But first what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and isolate this, and we're going to go ahead and get rid of some of these edge loops that we don't need. So we're going to go ahead and delete these. We're also going to go ahead, we're going to need this edge loop because of that. I don't think we're going to need these. We're not going to need this, I don't think. Or did we? No, we didn't need that edge loop. We need this for this shape. And we're going to get rid of that edge loop as well later on. First, what we're going to do is go into a side view, and we're going to select all these faces and hit delete. And then what we can do is we're going to fill in this gap. Just go to mesh, fill hole. Sorry about that. And we're just going to use our interactive split tool to go ahead and add in the edge loop. And now what we can do is go ahead and actually get rid of this loop and this loop, I think. So shift right click delete edge if that didn't go funny. Let's try that again. There we go. So it's a lot better. Now if we just come out of isolate, this is what we have. But if you notice, this piece is going to have to actually come out. So I'm just going to select these faces. And just going to drag them out, go to my side view, and these things are going to have to sit here, X-ray, and I'm just going to move that vertex in. And we're missing this edge loop here, so I'm going to go ahead and add this in. So far it's looking pretty good. We're gonna have to, if I unsmooth the main body, I'll be able to move this up, and hopefully it would be sitting at the right place. I'm just making sure that is unsmoothed. Go into my side view. And they don't seem to line up perfectly. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to do that. Seems like that this gap that we have is going to be too big, so we're going to have to go ahead and adjust that. Apart from that, this block is looking pretty good. So in the next couple of parts, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and sort this gap out and make sure that it goes around the right way, and we're going to sort out the door. filled it inside out, so once you open this you can actually see inside Wally, and add in obviously all the edge loops that we need so we can smooth this. So I'll see you guys in the next part.